Everybody, in this video, I will be going over I believe it's the Module 1 assignment for CS340, where you have to import a collection into Mongo, the Mongo database, and on Windows with Docker, with the Docker setup. So one thing I did after my first video on how to set up Docker on Windows 11 with my CS340 image was actually I updated pip, which if you went through the video, it would have probably told you to update pip as well. You can go, and hopefully you went ahead and did that. Otherwise, you have to enter like python.exe -m pip install whatever. Look, you should have seen the command if you needed it, and if it's still up and about, you can do that. But I don't know how big of a deal it technically is, but just giving a little heads up on that. So, anyways, to do this collection, I can help you with this week because it's not an academic integrity issue, because they give you the import statement for this, which I have over here on my other screen, which I'm going to grab right now. Okay. So, a couple things we can do with this actually. Before we get into that, I'm going to pull back up my documentation here from Docker. So one way to do this is this run command. So this command gets you into the shell, your Linux shell of the container. So we're going to get into that over here. And remember, I named mine CS340. So that's what I'm going to change this to if it'll let me. Hey. So CS340, enter, and boom, we're in there, and we want to switch our user to whatever user account you created, which me was Matt, Matt_SNHU, and I just have the container open over here for later in a second. So what we want to do first is very important. You can follow the instructions provided to you about making sure that you're in the datasets folder. So you want to do cd, and then remember this is Linux, so / user local datasets. Now that we're in datasets, we just want to do a little ls to check what's in there. We got everything that we need in there, so that's fine. So the import statement that they provide you is actually incorrect, and I think it's incorrect for both weeks, for weeks 1 and 2, and I think it's a similar error. So this part right here, the db equals enron, they actually have it as --db space enron when you need that equal sign there. And I believe the next week with city is the same deal for week 2, so just heads up on that. Well, yeah, so what's going on here, if you don't already know, is that, so the MongoImport is a command to import a file into the database, and then the user, password, port, and host is referencing the Mongo user, and etc. from that mongodb-env.txt file that was in my setup video for this Docker container. So that's what it's referencing. And one thing to do here, so basically, so once you're in there, you can hit enter and it'll import the collection. So that's one way to do it. Another way to do it is in the container itself. They have a terminal that you could use. So if you go into Docker desktop, click CS340. This is just your log. Go to the execute. Or you could do an external terminal as well, which I actually never tried that. Oh, that's the easier way to get into it. So it gives you your little terminal right here that you can use. But either way, you could do it in here, same thing. Just because lazy, I'm gonna do it here. So we want to change your user to whatever user you're using, which I was using Matt. And again, before I import anything, I want to do cd user local datasets, right? So we're here, and do I have to copy this again? I think I do. We'll find out. So now I can do the import statement over here, which is boom, done. All right, so I'm gonna import it from over here, and it'll tell you that you've successfully imported the documents. Because if you get an error that if it didn't find it, that means you're not in datasets. or if there's another error, it's because of you copy and pasted it wrong or you typed it wrong, because it's very important. Because sometimes if you copy and paste what they provide you, it'll do like a long dash instead of two dashes, or two long dashes. So you got to like make sure to go through that and verify everything's accurate. If you personally type it out in a Word document first and then copy it over, it's fine for me, because that's what I just did at least. So, and then another little helpful thing, if you want to know what the current Mongo user Mongo pass is, you do echo a $, and then Mongo user, and it'll print to the terminal what that current name is, right? So that's just very important to know for later when you have to. I think it's week 3. We have to adjust that, where you have to add a new user and all that. So now we've imported our collection outside of the Mongo shell. So to get into the Mongo shell, we type mongosh. If I could spell mongosh, it's Mongo sh, it's Mongo shell. Enter that, and you'll connect to admin, and then you can do show DBS, and I'll show the databases, and you can see that Enron is there. And then you can do use Enron to switch to that database, and then you can show collections. And I believe, yeah, this was all provided information to you, they give you. So again, not an academic integrity thing. So I'm not busting out different commands you're supposed to use. So you see the emails collection is there in there, but you don't want to switch to emails, because everything you need to do can be done from if you're in Enron here, because obviously if you're in admin and you try to do find a collection and stuff, it's gonna be a problem. So that's what you could do there. And then just to show, you could open this in external terminal, which basically sets it back to a reset. So you have to always remember to switch user to whatever you're trying to do. I'm not dyslexic. And then when you're importing, you need to make sure that you're in that user local datasets folder. Otherwise, you could go to the Mongo shell from anywhere. It's just when you're running that import command outside of the Mongo shell that you want to make sure that you're in the datasets folder. Show collections. Let's do that again. So yeah, so all that's showing up there. And then if you try to import again, see what it says. Oh, it says imported successfully anyway, so that's funny. Whatever. But yeah, that should be it. Use Enron, show collections, emails are there, we're good, and then show databases, we're at 8 there. Why is it 8 there and 7 point whatever over there? Excuse me? Okay, well, that's interesting that changed, but it doesn't matter. So, anyways, that's how you set it up, and then these are your options for doing it. Like I said, remember, like it needs, they need your name for everything you're doing. Granted, like this, I'm on like a 27-inch monitor, so when you submit your screenshots, your name has to be in there. If you have a bunch of data and your name's not showing there, one thing you can do is either in this shell, you could just hit exit to exit that, and then your name will be back up here, and you can take your screenshots. Or you could open up two PowerShell windows, two terminal windows, and have one behind the other. And same thing over here. You could have two of these terminals opened up. So if you need to do anything, so let's go to, and so yeah, leave that in the background, right? It just depends on what you need to do, and then you can put this one right over the top of it, so they know what you got going on. And then when you do your screenshots from inside, if you're doing a bunch of like whatever, find ones. Sorry, Mongo, use Enron. It's a longer video than I thought because I talk too much. But yeah, so if your name isn't showing up, like I say, that wasn't there, and you have like a whole screen worth of information you need to screenshot, and your name's not in it, boom, you have it on another terminal right behind it, which makes it a little easier. I think that covers everything that you would need for week 2, and kind of week, the other weeks that require importing data sets and stuff like that. So again, if you have any questions or I missed something, please let me know, and I'll make up either a new video or add some documentation to correct it.